Hi guys, welcome back to Tara Makes Up. I hope you guys are really well. I'm actually really looking forward to doing my makeup today, and I thought this might be helpful for a lot of you. I think we are all short on time nowadays. We're all time poor, so I just thought hopefully let's use this video to help us all out a little bit. I'm going to show you some products, some of which are new to me, some I already know and love. Products that help me get ready when I am short on time, so things that I might be able to use without brushes, things that I could use on the go, and just a few kind of tips and tricks of how I like to help myself look a bit more put together when I'm short on time. So if you want to learn those tricks and see this look, then just keep watching. So my first kind of go-to product when I'm on the go is something that straight away is going to give me moisture and a little bit of coverage. I don't think you can really beat a good tinted moisturiser, especially if you are time poor. One of my favourite ones is NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturiser. This one has SPF 30. I think the colour range is very flexible. It does kind of have that kind of like blurring technology where it will kind of adapt to skin tones. I just think this one for me, out of all the tinted moisturisers I've tried, seems to have like the best level of coverage that you could ever expect from a tinted moisturiser. So whilst it's not a IT Cosmetics CC cream, which I also do love and recommend, this one really does feel like you're putting a moisturiser on your skin with a little bit more pigment. And you know, you get a light to medium coverage, but it's buildable too. And I find a lot of people, when I use that on them, end up really enjoying it. So I really recommend that one. The other way I think that's great to kind of save time is something like a foundation, like a cushion foundation. So I have the YSL one here. I don't believe you can get this one in the States, but this was my favourite one that I picked up in England. It's the Encre de Peau Cushion Foundation by YSL. Obviously, so many companies and brands now do cushion foundations, and I think it's about finding the finish you want, the coverage you want. But for me, a cushion foundation is great because even without a brush, you can just kind of pat it on with the little pad that it comes with. Sometimes I'll even dip my fingers in and use my finger. Obviously, you could have a retractable brush, but it's a great way of applying foundation without it being messy. So there's that one. And then the one I'm going to use today actually is one I haven't tried, but I've heard really good things about, so I'm really excited to try it on camera. This is from Wonder Beauty. I love their foundation stick and their concealers, so that's why I wanted to try this. Now, we interviewed the founder for our full coverage podcast, so I'll link that as well. Links to the podcast will be in the description box. But the amazing thing she was saying about this is the fact that it's like, I mean, it really does almost feel like a very silky powder. So it's a powder foundation compact. And for me, when I think of powder foundation compacts, I instantly think of like MAC Studio Fix, which kind of scares me because I'm like, those are pretty heavy. And whilst I appreciate the use of those and they're great for coverage, I like, if I'm ever to wear a powder foundation, something that still looks like skin, but just with that nice kind of, not too much coverage basically. So I like that this has a clear piece that goes over the powder. And then I've been using this, I had a little play with it earlier and I did really like it. So I'm going to use this as like my kind of on the go, because I think with this what's nice is you can actually, I'm using the shade Tan by the way guys, you can build a little bit of coverage. And obviously this is very mattifying, but I kind of like the idea of this, that you could just be on the go and kind of build up a little bit of coverage. And I think for fall as well, it's quite nice having slightly matter skin and then just adding the glow where you want it. So I'm just kind of using this all over. And this doesn't get stuck at all in my eyebrows, which is another thing I really like about this. So you can see it's just like a little coverage. It just kind of gives something, I feel like it still looks like my skin though, which is really nice. There's no edges. So that's a great one for on the go. Obviously you've got a nice big mirror as well, which is really good. Concealer, I feel like everyone needs concealer, but I'm going to do concealer nearer the end because that's just what I prefer to do. I think a good brow pencil is an essential for me. I love the Hourglass one. You want one with a spoolie on the end as well, just so you can kind of give your brows a bit of a groom before you start. If you are lucky enough that you already have amazing brows, just use a brow gel, something like Glossier Boy Brow or like the Hourglass Arch Brow Gel. Any of those are great. I just feel like as soon as you kind of give yourself a little bit of shape on your brow, just feather a little bit of product through, that instantly just makes you look a little bit more polished and a little bit more put together. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of like eyes on the go. Now, I think most of us will agree that kind of anything you can do with your fingers is going to be that much easier and less messy. One product that I've loved for a long time and I think it's had a lot of love on my channel is the Maybelline Color Tattoo 24-Hour Concentrated Crayon. This shade, which is Creamy Chocolate, is just beautiful. I love it so much, and it's a twist up, so you're not going to need a sharpener. That's a great one for on-the-go eyes. The other one that I'm going to try today is from Nude Sticks. I actually bought this as a treat to myself because I saw Emrata on Vogue, and it just goes to show you how much of a sucker I am for celebrity endorsements too, because she used some of these on her Vogue video and I wanted to buy it, so I did. So they come in the tin like this. This is actually the Jet Set pack you get, which was a collaboration with Mary Phillips, makeup artist who works with J-Lo. And this comes with, let's see if I can do this so I don't blind you. I'll maybe insert a cutaway instead actually. So there are all these different pencils for eyes, lips, cheeks, multi-purpose, and the little tin does come with a sharpener as well. So you do have your sharpener with you for on the go, perhaps a little bit more messy than the Maybelline one, but I have really fallen in love with the formula from Nude Sticks. So I'm going to start with the shade Copper Foil, which I did actually use on one of my Instagram lives recently. So you might have seen this already on my channel. And I just think anything with kind of like flecks of gold or pewter in is a very like eye awakening look. So I'm just going to start by popping a good amount of this sort of all over my lid, and then I'm going to use my finger and just smudge, and it just kind of like the pearl becomes a little bit more discreet, a little bit more undone. It's a nice way to kind of hide any fatigue in the eyes, any kind of like veins. Just use that, and you know, some people it might be this mascara and a lip gloss and you're done, but I'm going to add a few more colours first. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, blend again with my finger, and I like that once these set, they really kind of like set into place, but you do get a little bit of playtime. So then I'm going to add a little bit of this darker colour, which is Immortal. This is like a really nice kind of like pewtery bronze, and I'm going to take that on the lower part of the lid. So you can see I'm just drawing this over the bottom. Now I've got a brush here, but you could totally use your fingers, guys. I do actually think fingers works better with this formula. And I'm going to use a little bit of that tone under the lash line as well. Just doing like a few messy dots and then smudging outwards. Just give my eye a little bit of shape. So then I'm taking the shade Rustique and I'm just placing that a little bit under the lash line. It's kind of like got a little bit more red in it, and I'm just blending that through with my finger as well, just to give a little bit more definition and kind of a nice subtle change in tones. And obviously the whole point of this, guys, is you could totally do this whole look with one pencil, but I kind of like the idea of the pencils, so I'm actually going to use this as like a liner now, just to give a bit more like different colours. So I'm just doing that like a liner almost along the top. Now I do think even if you can fit nothing else in your bag, an eyelash curler makes such a difference to kind of on-the-go makeup, especially when you are, you know, really kind of looking to open up the eyes, look more awake, especially if you're tired. I do think eyelash curlers are so important. So I am just tilting this far back as I can get it without obviously hurting my eyes. So just go with caution, but I do like a really, really wide awake lash look for me, so I do like to go to town. Obviously a mascara, I think use whatever mascara you like to use. At the minute I've really been enjoying this one from Dior. This is the Dior Show Mascara, which I swear I tried like a year ago and just wasn't into it, and I don't know if they changed the formula or what it is, but now I really like it. I feel like you can build this up really easily as well, from like a daytime lash to a nighttime lash, if there is such a thing. But I just feel like it's very, it does give volume and separation and a really nice deep black lash line. And I'm going to do some on the bottom lashes as well, because I do think as well, just doing a little bit on your bottom lashes really does kind of like open up the eyes as well. Okay, so then I'm going to take concealer, and for me, I'm at that point where I would still choose concealer over foundation, but I know for a lot of people it's the other way around. I really like the Cover FX one. This comes in a really great range of shades. I believe it's either 25 or 30. It has like a ball on it, so I quite like that you can almost just do like a dot there, a dot there, a dot there, and then obviously kind of anywhere else that you needed the coverage. But I find this one is really great in that it kind of just still blends really nicely even over the top of this powder. And don't you just love concealer, guys? I feel like as soon as you put concealer on, everything about makeup just makes sense. Just see the difference that makes. I feel like mascara really is, like, for me, the thing that puts everything together. Again, I think a cream blush is such an important piece of, or any kind of creams I think are just so good for this kind of like get ready quickly makeup. I really love the Milk makeup. I think these are really, really great for on the go. I also really love the Chanel ones if you have slightly more oily skin. I think the Chanel cream blush is really, really great. In fact, I'm even going to use a little bit of that kind of peachy colour. I'm going to use a little bit of that through my socket of my eye because I want to add a bit more peach to this. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that now. And that's the thing, don't be afraid to use blush colours on your eyes, guys, as well. And I think this one is great because it really does kind of matte down. It doesn't, this one actually doesn't stay like a sort of creamy blush, which normally I'm not as keen on. But I think as well, like if I'm using this on like an oilier skin, this is just really, really nice. You can just see that's just given like a little bit of peach, a little bit more autumnal vibe, which I'm quite into, just through the socket. The one I'm going to use today is the other part of the pack I brought from Nude Stick. So this is the cream blush. This is the one that Emirata was wearing in the Vogue video. Now you can buy this separately, which I didn't realise until after I brought this set, but I thought it was good for me to show you it in a video anyway. So it has like a brush on one end, which I don't know if I will use, let's try. And this shade is in the nude, which I just thought was really pretty. And in my head I was like, I don't have that colour in my collection. So I'm just gonna do, it's quite a stiff cream actually. I'm just gonna do, let's try using the brush. I don't mind the brush, but I'm totally gonna go with my fingers instead because I feel like I'll be able to get more of the look I want using my finger. And I'm just gonna dab. It's quite nice, it's like a sort of nudie apricot colour. Such a nice colour, I love that. I'm gonna do a little bit on my nose as well because I kind of like it when I almost look like I've caught the sun a little bit. So I'm just using that same cream blush on my lips. Sort of got like a Bordeaux-y feel about it, which I really like. And I kind of feel like to finish it off, you can't beat having something like this in your makeup bag. This is the RMS Signature collection. So you've got Living Luminizer in here, which we all know I love, and I'm going to use a little bit of that on my cheekbones. It doesn't have the mirror, that is my only downside with this. I'm actually going to mix the golden tone one as well, so I'm going to mix that one and Living Luminizer together and just dot on my skin, just to really like tie everything together. I can take a little bit of that on my brow bone, which I never usually do, but I'm kind of in the mood for today. And I just think it, like I said, ties everything together, especially if you've done your makeup really in a rush. Like having like a cream highlighter, use it to kind of blend through your brows, use it kind of on the inner corner of your eye. So even that just like gives a little pop. Obviously, if I was doing this not at home, I wouldn't necessarily have all these pieces, but I just wanted to show you kind of ways of putting your makeup on quickly. Last but not least, this is by Cover FX. This is the Dewy Finishing Spray. You can hear a ball, so I just want to give it a shake. And because I used a powder foundation as well, I kind of just want to set my face with this and just bring a bit of glow back. So it's got a very nice mist actually. So I'm just gonna, I hope that didn't go on the camera. So I hope that was helpful. I just really wanted to kind of share some tips for like makeup on the go that's very, very easy. This isn't about kind of high levels of skill here. This is about getting the job done and doing it quickly so that you feel like the best version of yourself, a little bit fresher and a little bit more put together, especially when you're short on time. So I would love for you guys to subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what videos you would like to see. I am planning on doing another capsule wardrobe series soon with other faces, which I'm very excited about, but planning that, I've just found out I'm on like another job with a client potentially for a month as well at the minute, so I'm having to put that on hold, the capsule makeup series, until that job is done. But I haven't forgotten about it, so don't worry, there'll be lots of new faces on my channel soon and I can't wait to bring you that. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that when that's out. And I did do a blog post actually a little while ago on my kind of favourite multi-purpose sticks, so I'll link that down below as well if you want to check that out. Hope you guys are really, really well. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.